I'd like to call to order the Ratcliffe City Council special called meeting for Monday, September 9th, 2019 at 5 at Ratcliffe City Hall. If you'll please rise for our invocation by Councilman Palmer and remain standing for our pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we're so grateful to be in your presence again. Grateful for this day. We ask you to bless our time together. Give us wisdom and insight to conduct the city's business with excellence. We ask that you would bless and protect those who are in harm's way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Ms. Clerk, if you'll call the roll, please.
Baker,
Present.
Drosh, here. Palmer,
Present.
Seabrooks,
Here.
Thompson,
Here.
Yates.
So we have consideration and approval of minutes for August 20th, 2019 regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Now, keep in mind, in that, we also have the public hearing documents for those minutes as well. And that's, should be on that second. Yep, you got it. So with that, we have a motion second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, can we have, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, I'd like to say Councilman Yates was feeling a little under the weather tonight and said he would not be able to make the meeting. So we wish him fast and speedy recovery with some antibiotics, hopefully. So he should be okay. First, we have a second reading. We have no old business, we have new business. We have a second reading of an ordinance levying the city of Ratcliffe ad valorem taxes for the municipal purposes of fiscal year 2020. Mr. Pike.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is the second reading of the ordinance levying City of Ratcliffe ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes for the fiscal year of 2020 on all taxable property within the taxing jurisdiction of the city on each $100 of calendar year 2019 assessed valuation as follows. On real property, .159, and personal property, .183, including real and personal property of public service companies. On privately owned and registered vehicles and watercraft, .199, and bank deposit tax, .00025. Be it ordained by the city of Ratcliffe as follows. Section 1, that for the purposes of support of the government of the city of Ratcliffe and the payment of its debts and expenses for the fiscal year 2020, there will be and hereby are levied ad valorem taxes on each $100 of calendar year 2019 assessed valuation of all taxable property within the taxing jurisdiction of the city as follows. A, real property and personal property. Personal property includes inventory, furniture, and fixtures of the business, including inventory held for resale, including real and personal property of public service companies on the Department of Revenue assessed valuation. Real property, .159, personal property, .183, bank deposit tax, .00025. B, privately owned, registered vehicles and watercraft not a part of inventory shall be taxed at the rate of .199. Section 2, that this ordinance shall become effective on the day of its passage and publication as required by law. That's second reading, Mayor. Ready for a motion?
Motion
and
to
roll call
adopt.
vote.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call vote, please?
Baker,
Yes.
Drosh,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Seabrooks.
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Next on new business is the second reading, Mr. Pike, of an ordinance of the City of Ratcliffe's annual budget, amending the annual budget of fiscal year 2018-2019.
Yes, sir. This is the second reading of the ordinance amending the City of Ratcliffe, Kentucky annual budget for the fiscal year July 1, 2018 through June 30, 2019 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of the city government. Whereas an annual budget proposal and message has been prepared and delivered to the City Council, and whereas the City Council has reviewed such budget proposal and made necessary modifications, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Ratcliffe, Kentucky. Section 1, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2018 and ending June 30, 2019 is hereby amended as follows. Under anticipated revenues, general fund, insurance premium taxes, amended to read $3,024,100. Total resources available under general fund, amended to read $12,353,600. On the appropriations side, administration department under general fund is amended to read $979,700. Public Works Department under general fund amended to read $1,791,300. Parks and Recreation Department, under general fund, amended to read $737,050. Total appropriations, under general fund, amended to read $12,353,600. That is second reading, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have a second reading. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a second by Mr. Roach. Have any discussion? Hearing none. We have a roll call vote, please.
DeRoche?
Yes.
Palmer?
Yes.
Seabrooks?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, Ms. Motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We are out of our scheduled call meeting, and we will go into our work session. So I wanted kind of a easy meeting today, but we did have just some things I wanted to touch base on before things pop up. And so I didn't give you all anything to fill out because this is more or less discussion. Limb pickup is coming up, and as you all know, we budgeted. So the limb pickup will begin around the first week of October. And so, as you all probably are aware of by driving around, we do already have several limbs that are being set out by our residents. And so I want to touch a little bit on what we do pick up, what kind of get your all's input, because I think, you know, any decisions that I make administratively directly affects you all, because you all hear the good things and the bad things and get calls and stuff. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page and kind of get a good understanding of where we are. But let me go back. The crews will actually make one pass through the entire city. They typically start on the north end of town, Preston, and then work their way all the way down south to about where I live, which is down near the John Hardin area. And they hit every road. And sometimes they send people out ahead just to make sure that we're, you know, there's some streets that may not have anything, so there's no reason for us to drive down those. So they work that internally and coordinate that. If you have limbs, you need to have those out no later than October 1st. We had an issue just a few weeks ago on a street where some limbs were out in the road, and so we sent the crews down there to pick up the limbs. I drove out there the next morning, and literally somebody had cut their limbs because they saw them and drug their limbs back out. So, you know, that's the hard part about this. So, you know, we really want to, you know, get the word out. Have your limbs out by October 1st. Next pickup will probably not happen until February of next year. And then, of course, we hope and pray there's no ice storm, but you had a just simple ice storm in on this, and you all know where we end up. So please have your limbs out and ready to go by October 1st. This is this is what is listed on our website. City of Ratcliffe will assist with brush and limb removal through our limb pickup program. The program is intended for brush and limb pickup to be 10 inches in diameter, not an entire tree. Again, that is not an entire tree. So, you know, we have residents, I just want to get your all's feedback, that do sometimes cut their own trees down. How do you all look at that? Or, you know, I mean, if they drag it all out there and cut it and drag it out by the road, is that something you all want us to tackle? And I'll show you some pictures here so you all can see what I'm talking about.
I think 10 inches is pretty thick.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll go into that. Limbs larger than that, and tree trunks is another thing. People are cutting tree trunks. Should be hauled off by the contractor or the customer's expense. This is a residential program. Now, we do work with the commercial properties on this, because commercial does pay a lot of
Right.
that cost on stormwater fees. And so if they call in and kind of schedule ahead with us, we do make plans to pick that up. Our past contractor that's picked it up a couple times has went ahead and picked them up, no questions asked. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I just want to make sure, because our guys are getting ready to start, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So this is an example of one that I'm talking about. You know, this is more than residential. As you can see, this was this past year when the contractor picked it up. You can see there's a huge tree down there in the bottom left corner, and that is an entire tree that was done, and that's lined up. I think, Ms. Baker, you actually drove out and looked at that one. And that's on Park Avenue, and that's all the way down. I mean, you can see where my car's parked, and I'm up at the very beginning of it. There's another one. As you can see in the back where the tree was cut, at the top left corner, the huge trunk down there at the bottom. And so this is one reason why we had to have a grapple truck. I mean, you can't ask people to pull and tug, and, I mean, this is a lot.
And try and lift that up into a bed of
Yeah,
something.
and
It's
so,
not gonna work.
our contractor that did pick this up, you know, they did get it all cleaned up and did what he should have been, you know, what he did. And So here's another pile. This is all the way down a street here in Ratcliffe. That goes from that entrance all the way up to the very corner where the stop sign is. And this is on one property owner's property.
Is that all cut up, or is that just one big?
It's
tall
cut
tree?
up, but it's all mangled. I mean, it's just, you know, the branches aren't facing out to the road. This is on Preston. This is currently there as, right now. We actually had to send our crew down there because the homeowners couldn't see around it, so we took the tractor, front end loaders, I'm trying to say, and actually pushed it off the road because the branches were actually in the road.
Right.
And there's just another angle at it, and as you can see, it's probably, I think it's almost 10 foot high, stacked. So this is, you know, we have a grapple truck, and this is the grapple truck that you all approved. We went a little bit over, not much. But there's the grapple truck that we had bought, which is different than the one that we had initially. This one was bought out of a company in Louisville. This belonged to another city who traded it in, and we got a pretty good deal on it, and so we went ahead and made the effort. So this was what we'll be picking up, and it's the grapple that grabs. So going back, these are the ones that we have to pick up. So I don't know how y'all feel about it. I don't think our guys are complaining about picking it up, but again, is this what the program is intended for? And I just really look for y'all for some feedback. Because if I say no, first thing's gonna happen is you all get calls.
Right.
If I say yes, you probably won't get any calls. So I just wanna kinda work with you guys and see which way you all think is best.
My thought and impression of the program was for the homeowner that goes out and trims some limbs, maybe something's hanging too far over the front porch, he cuts it off. And, maybe he has branches that are falling off, you put it out there. But if you cut down a whole tree, typically if a contractor does it, that's a part of should be a part of the bid to remove. And if you're trying to save some money by saying, well, just leave it, the city will get it, then yeah, I don't think the intent of the program was to do tree removal. So I think it's very important that we talk about the volume, because it is a burden to the city. And
Yeah, I'm guessing this is probably 3 to 4 trips. And I didn't put the homes. You can see I didn't want to have the homes addresses or anything like that, because this is not just, there's several of these, not just these.
Right.
There's a couple more. These are some of the ones I pulled off my phone. But that's probably 3 or 4 trips in that
Right.
dumpster container that we have.
But is it a big burden to us to pick it up?
It's time consuming and it's just large amounts. They may be able to get 4, 5, 6, 7 down the road by the time they get one. And it's just really, is this something you all want us to do? I'm
Well,
really
I mean,
looking for feedback.
obviously, that property, by the looks of it, should have very few trees left.
Yeah.
So we won't have the problem there again. Where we have the problem is people bringing their brush from other cities or other locations and putting it. Now, that I don't think we should pick up, but if those trees or branches or limbs came from your yard, then I think, we should pick them up. And I agree, I think we should pick up from the commercial, because they're actually the ones paying the lion's share of the stormwater.
And we don't actually have a whole lot of commercial. Sometimes it's just something that may happen, a tree broke and someone drags
Right.
it out. It's not, I don't want to, like Walmart doesn't call us to come pick up a tree in their
Right.
front. Usually it's maybe a small business owner that's had an issue or
And
something.
most of those are smaller trees.
Yeah.
This is, somebody obviously was clearing that property. I don't know that, I guess you could do that type of work by yourself. It would take quite a while.
I think I had a tree hit, by lightning or the ice storm, and I, cut it up and put it out there. And of course, it wasn't that much, but, I was looking for the city to pick it up, because, what am I gonna do with it?
Yeah.
I can't go dump it somewhere that I know of that would be legal.
And I think most of the times those sizes we don't have an issue with. I think these are just such a large,
it's a runoff.
yeah. So really just, our public work guys are good, they work, they're tough, and they get paid, and either way, whether they're there or up the street. So I don't think it matters to them. They're not the ones asking. It's really, I want to make sure that we're efficient in doing what we need to do and following the guidelines, I guess, that were set up when this program was set up. And if we want to continue that, I just want to make sure that we're kind of all on the same page.
I agree with picking it up if it's not all of the time thing. Like, if they continually put that much stuff out there, that'd be different.
Yeah.
But one time, and then you don't see that for years, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I don't know, we've got 200 white pine trees in my yard, and when we have ice storms, it might not look that bad, but it's going to
Yeah,
look
ice
pretty
storms are
rough.
usually, we usually understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Anybody else?
So did you get your answer?
Yeah, you know, I'll work through it. Ben, do you understand all this? Okay.
So we've got 3 or 4 people that have done
We
it.
probably have, there's probably about 6 or 7 of these right now that are maybe not that large, but are
Pushing the,
And below.
it's close. And so,
cleanup and everything.
But is it cleanup from that property, or is it, are
Now,
they
this
bringing
one-
it from other properties?
This one
That's
in
the question.
particular, there was a whole row dividing it between the residents, and they did cut a lot of that out. And I'm probably, I'd say a lot of that came from that property, yes.
that one did. So,
The other thing is cleanup.
you know, when we pick all that up, there's a lot of underbrush and raking that has to also go into that. It's not just
Grabbing it and driving off. There's also, and that's the other thing I need to talk about. We're also seeing a lot of wood and construction lumber that's being thrown in the mix of this as well. And they try to separate that out. That's not what we pick up.
Right.
This last go around, we had a lot.
It's not a dump site in your
Well, for
front
whatever
yard.
reason, we had a lot of 4x4 posts that were in the mix for some reason, and so, which didn't make any sense, but
We're not like bulldozing for new construction, are we?
No.
no,
That's-
no.
okay.
No, this is supposed to be for
It
residential.
looks like it though,
Oh,
doesn't
it
it?
does.
Yeah.
It does.
So, I mean, if that's what you all are leaning towards, pick it up, and then if it
Becomes an issue again, then we address it with that homeowner or that individual at the property site.
I liked it that way.
Yeah.
I like that
Okay.
way.
Mr. Pike said something? Like you're ready to craft
Sounds
a-
reasonable.
All right. All right. We'll make that work. All right, let me move in. City park discussion, before we go into the festival. So kind of wanted to touch base on the city parks. Parks are going well. You know, meet with Tim quite often. One of the things that came up, over the parks was kind of hours of opening. Ed and I had had a conversation, along with Chris and Barbara, I think at one time, about what hours our parks are open, and then are they open during the day for families to go in? And so I think Duval Park is probably right now the only one locked, Tim, during the afternoon, and I instructed Tim to open that up, to let people in. Now, with school being back in and stuff, you know, of course, there's not many kids out, and if they're in there, then they shouldn't be in there, kind of thing. Do you all have any preference or anything on the parks, or anything you would like to have input on our park system right now?
So are you saying Duval is still locked now, or it's
No,
open
Duval's
now?
open right now during the day. They lock, I guess, Ron's probably locking it, what, about 9 o'clock when they leave, 8:39? So, yeah, during the day,
Okay.
it was locked during the summer.
Right, which
And,
doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that was something that you had asked about, and then we had opened them up. Ed had also commented on if the parks aren't open, you know, how the people supposed to get to the playground and
Right.
stuff, so.
I just wanted to make sure you all are still on the same page with that and are good with that. Our parks usually close at dusk, and now that it's getting later, they're gonna start closing.
Or earlier.
Earlier, excuse me, yeah. The other thing was the lighting at the parks. Some of the adult soccer that we're allowing to use, the fields I've asked to use the power, and I said I can get with Tim and we'll work that out somehow. Now, before, they did not let them use the lighting that was out there on the fields. And so I kind of think the lighting's there, and we have people utilizing the fields, and they want to use them and are willing to pay some cost for the electric. I don't see why that's an issue.
Right.
But what I instructed them was, somebody has to be in charge of that. So if our department goes by there, the police department, and they see the lights are on at 2 o'clock in the morning, then whoever that responsible party is for turning them off and on, then would be called in and figured out what happened while those lights were on, and probably have to pay something, because those are high wattage bulbs, and they're not LEDs, and that meter is dancing when those things are on, so.
So to that point, is there a cutoff time for the adults? I mean, like 10, 11
I think the
o'clock?
adults try to get done by 9:30, is that? Yeah, I talked to them this weekend, I think it's about 9 or 9:30, they said they're gonna be off the field. They're working through Will Lozano and the league that's out there now, And so they're supposed to contact us. I mean, I talked to them this weekend. But, you know,
Is there any way to put like a timer or something on it?
I didn't
You
look at.
don't want them to come on when nobody's there.
No, I mean, to turn them off. You don't have to have it set to go on, but when you turn it on, have a timer that at this certain time for sure, they go off.
yeah, I've got to go out there and look. The system that's out there now is probably hadn't been updated, I'd say, unless you've done it since you've been there. I don't,
You lever, you just pull the
Yeah.
lever, yeah.
you know, it's the ones that don't immediately come on. They take about 3 minutes to warm up. The ballast gets hot, and then the bulbs come on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We're like high
I like
school
the idea
football
of a timer or
lights.
something that just goes on instead of saying, well, someone's gonna go back over there and turn it off or something of that nature.
Yeah, somebody has to be
Just-
responsible.
Yeah, that way you have some sort of consistency, so.
And we're going to work with them. They're going to come in, and Tim and I are going to meet with them and talk. The adult soccer is probably the last one. We haven't any issues with softball. I think softball's worked out good. I haven't any issues there. We haven't any issues with soccer neither. I think it's just making sure that if we're going to allow it, to make sure somebody's in charge and somebody's
Right,
yep,
that's,
responsible. Saunders Springs is fine. We don't have any issues there. Tim, I don't think we have any issues out at City Park North. So I think it just basically becomes the parks. I was out there this weekend for the opening day of soccer. We got over 300 kids signed up, and that's due to the GPS,
GPS.
excuse me, I said CPS, GPS,
Right. Which is
Global Premier Soccer, yeah.
Right.
Will's doing a great job, and I think opening football's this weekend, but unfortunately it coincides with our festival, so. But yeah, it was good. Good turnout. There's some things Tim and I are gonna work on out there we saw that need to be addressed, and I told Tim we'll try to get to it either this week or next, because it's just a busy week this week. But yeah, overall, I think everything's going pretty well.
good. I'm glad the parks are being used.
Yeah, they were glad to see, I don't know who was out there this weekend, but they said the city guy was out there quite a bit. Yeah, so Frank, they said they saw him walking, that's what you all approved. So they were glad to see him. And I think the time I was out there, he was probably at Saunders Springs, so. But yeah, they said that was working good. They're glad to see a city employee out there now, so appreciate you all approving that.
Mhm.
I don't know what else. Anything else? Tim, you think anything else? No? Yeah. We're also working on Colvin. We're looking to build the lean-to over the air conditioners that's leaking down the basement. And then once we get that done, we'll start working on the basement of Colvin. And I'll probably think we'll wait till after the Christmas holiday. That way, nothing gets disturbed and we don't have to shut it down during Christmas because somebody I think is wanting to use it for their thing. So, all right, we'll move on to the Ratcliffe Cultural Festival and the parade. So that's happening this Saturday, September 14th, and I just put some old pictures up here. So we are starting to line up. So at 7 o'clock at Colvin Community Center is the Optimist Club Pancake Breakfast, and that will be from 7 to 9. And then parade entries can begin lining up at 8 at Stithen Church. We started off with about 32 parade entries, I think, when we were starting, and now we're over 70. And we had Simmons College in Louisville. It will be sending down, and I think
The
Miss
entire
Jeanette.
band.
80.
Yeah, I think
80.
Miss Jeanette had something to do with that.
Thank you, Miss Stevens.
They're sending 80 of their band members
band.
down here to march in the parade. And North was going to march, but unfortunately they have to be at a tournament, so they can't. We don't want the kids to get wore out on our parade and not do well
In the competition.
the competition. So, but we
But
appreciate
they're going
Simmons.
to come and play.
They're going to come and play
beforehand.
that morning, just kind of get people, just a small.
So their
group, yeah.
presence will be there,
Small
so
group.
that's good.
You said 8 AM, they can start lining up.
They can start lining up at 8 a.m. and we'll have people there to kind of show people where to go and where their layout's going to be. And so our theme, of course, is celebrating our diversity. And so Toshi, when she began this long journey of
Lord, yes.
of bringing all of us together to do this, the city always had a parade for many years. It kind of went away. And in 2011, when I came back into office, it's kind of one thing I wanted to do is do another parade. And so when Toshi and I sat down and actually talked, I said, well, the city, it's our parade. Let us do the parade, and then you all do the festival. So as a partnership, we typically did ours around October, the first week of October, as you all remember. You and Ed and Barbara, y'all did yours. And so the Ratcliffe Days Parade is a separate parade. It's a separate thing from the Cultural Festival. But the Community Cultural Festival and us came together. And so doing that together, I think really we were able to concentrate on the parade from the city side, and then the community portion that was started with Toshi, and then all the organizations, the group people that came together, was able to put all that together. So I think we're gonna have a really nice day. I know we will have a really nice day and a really great celebration doing this. And so I showed Toshi the float the other day, and she actually started crying. I was like, so I don't know if it's bald cause stress or bald. Yeah, it's really a really nice compliment to everything that we're all are doing. And so, I was just showing, these are past parades. This one's of course on Dixie. This one was on, Lincoln Trail here. And so, this is, I think, our first year we went down Dixie. And so, you know, I think one of the parades, we had over 100 entries. We're about 70. And if you were at the Heartland Parade, they had about 67, I think is what they said. And you commentate, you remember how long it seemed. I mean, it just kept going on. And so ours is a little bit shorter, but having, 70.
The route is a little shorter.
We'll probably have about 75 or,
It's
we'll be
close
in there,
to that.
75 to 80.
75.
And so we feel pretty good about that. Was our Miss Ratcliffe. But, I mean, you can kind of, if you look down that side corridor, you can just see, it was just long and it was a great crowd, and we had a good time with it. And so there were some people that had a better time with it than others. There were some people that got a little bit more out of it than some of us did. Let's see. I mean, I couldn't resist. Hold on, listen to the end. I want you to hear the end, Ed. That's me. So some people just had a good time with it. But, September 14th, we start off. So I'm going to call Miss Toshi up and let her talk about all the hard work and effort and everything that she's and her committee and has really went
Thank
into to doing all this. So
Well, let me first say that this has been a journey, a long one, but definitely a journey of unity and of forming partnerships. And, I know people say my name, but really it has taken about 20 or 30 people. And the city, we have Councilwoman Pam DeRoche, Barbara's been to meetings, Chris, Miss Tanya, who has given us graciously her mother, former Councilwoman Jeanette Stevens, to be on one of our chairs. And we've had meeting after meeting after meeting, and we're having our last one tomorrow. But let me say, as a result of the unity, of the partnership, of the city, of the sponsors, and I'm going to announce a really big sponsor here before I get off of the stage here. We have now grown this thing. It was 10 to 5, and you said from the beginning when we came back early this spring that the city would do the parade, and it has been a huge relief, and the parade is going to be awesome. And so I don't think we could have put off as well of a festival had we had to advantage the parade and the festival. So that has just been a blessing. The parade has grown, the festival has grown to now ending at the fireworks. We have just continued to grow this. And when I say grow this, we have a schedule we've been working on that starts at 11 and doesn't stop until the fireworks. It is continuous. There are 25 performances, cultural performances, anywhere from 5 minutes to a dance up to an hour. We're having presentations. We're supposed to have Miss Dawn G. We're having cultural dances, Hawaiian fire dances. We're having a belly dancer from Louisville. It has just grown beyond what we ever thought it would do.
I'm glad you didn't say Willie was belly dancing.
No, I can't really pronounce her name, Miss Oria O, but she has graciously, she was in the World Fest in Louisville.
Yeah, she was on the wall.
Yes, and so she's going to be at Ratcliffe. So we're excited to have her, and we're going to have the Heartland Dulcimers and just a lot of different cultural events all day, nonstop, no breaks. So if you have to leave, it's going to be a 10-hour stage performance show. So if you have to come and go, that's okay, but we're going to be here all day until the fireworks. The fashion show, Miss Diane Lear and Julie Ford, that is growing and growing as well. And I'm not sure how many entrants we have, but I'm sure it'll go
What
to.
time's that start?
That starts at 5. The fashion show is at 5.
5 to 6.
5 to 6. And then we have, you know, a lot of singers, we have dancers, we just have a lot going on. So, you know, we couldn't do this without community. We couldn't do this without city. We couldn't do this without partnerships. We couldn't do this without our sponsors. We started with $0, and I know when I came here at the beginning, it was going to be difficult with the budget, but that's okay because your time, your volunteerism, other things have helped us. I think in talking with Pam, our treasurer today, we estimated that we have about $13,000, $13,000 to $15,000 cash, you know. So, and I will say, because today I have to publicly thank Corvins for stepping up and sponsoring our fireworks today. So they gave us our entire budget for the fireworks. So it's exciting. I mean, we just 4 days away, and we are about to, I think, just set the precedence. Pass out. I won't tell you what I told him today in a text, but because I'm not going to start drinking or doing drugs, but I feel like it. But don't write that down. But we are really going to, you know, set a new precedence for Radcliffe. I mean, this is 2019, but we will have one every year after this because the city, the community is going to continue to support this festival. We're putting it on the map this year, and we're going to continue to grow it. So I just thank everybody.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for the opportunity and for helping make this happen.
Toshi, can you remind everybody exactly the location? Because when I've called people, there's been a little bit of
They think it's here at the City Hall,
Yes.
don't they? The festival is at Radcliffe Shopping Center, the Radcliffe Square Shopping Center. That's where the parade will end. So it's behind the PNC. It's the Orchlands and the Ollie's Shopping Center, if you will. That's where we will have everything set up. We have vendors. We have food vendors. We have Jamaican. We have Korean. We have Philippine. We have Greek. We have German. We have all types of food vendors. We have a cultural center. We have a lot of other crafty vendors that you can purchase things from. And then we will have the center stage. And that center stage starts at 11 with the Aaron Hart Magic Show, and it ends at 9 with the fireworks. So from magic to fireworks.
zone.
And we have a kid zone, yes, with bouncy houses and kids games. It's just, I mean, you know, I don't know what else we can put in one
it's
day.
from all ages.
It's
All
all
ages
ages,
can come and
all
have a good
ages,
time.
all day. Come and eat, sit down, watch the show. I mean, if you want to sit down at 11, you don't have to get up till 9
And they
at
can-
night.
They can bring their chairs, blankets.
Please, bring your
everything.
chairs, bring your blankets. The only thing that we ask is you don't bring any coolers or anything like that because we do want you to support our vendors. So, you know, just come out and have a great day. It's going to be beautiful weather. Have
Arts
some
and crafts,
pancakes.
too, so bring your checkbooks.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of vendors to purchase from. So we're just excited about it. We're excited. And I want to thank the News Enterprise as well and our local stations. Everybody has just really been behind this festival. And I think everybody's excited to bring something back to Radcliffe. And we have just been getting a lot of good PR from this. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be wonderful. So thank you all very much.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know, I talked to, when did we talk? When we talked the other day? Was it Friday? Yeah, Toshi and I were about ready to come through the phone at each other screaming, and then when we got done, we were both just laughing and joking, and she started crying. I was like, all right.
Festivals are very stressful. I think we all,
We have a few surprises with the fireworks.
Yeah. No. But I think anybody that's done events or festivals or large things, I mean, it's large. I mean,
when I even talked to Pam the other day, she was like, Charles, like, wanting to know what equipment do you need? What sound do you need?
it's just everything, and so.
I know.
I mean, yeah, we didn't even know about the electricity. What kind of electricity? I mean, we really, but we could have done it.
So-
We're doing it, it takes a team.
Well, I think it's gonna go over well, and so, if you wanna, you can check out their Facebook page, Radcliffe Cultural Festival. If you want to, I think the parade is almost close, I think we're good there. We do throw candy again, so please bring the kiddos out, and just make sure you watch them, but it's always a good time. Kim, you wanted to say something, but that you couldn't be there?
Oh, yeah, for the parade part, regretfully, I won't be able to make that. I have an obligation I just cannot get out of. I'll try it, but I can't. But I'll be there for at least half of the festival, but I just can't make the parade.
So, all right.
JJ, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody asked me about what time the streets Dixie Highway would be closed because of
Yeah,
this?
about 9:15.
9:15.
Yes, and so,
And thank you for bringing that up, Pam. Our guys were out today and making sure all the businesses again know that we're shutting those roads down. We're estimating about an hour or so the businesses will be closed, the roads will be closed. There is alternative routes, of course, for people getting out, especially Park Avenue where that road is kind of shut off. They can either exit out through Walmart Way or come out through Orchlands and come around. We've done it twice before and never had any issues. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple people, there's always one or two that get frustrated, and we apologize ahead. But we should, all the businesses, we did it before, they were very
So
easy to
will
work
all
with.
of Dixie Highway then be shut?
Correct,
I mean,
yes.
north and south.
North and
lanes?
south.
Yes.
Okay.
So initially from the bridge, there's an exit, the little side road that used to come up on the side, they'll use that. And then northbound traffic will be turned onto Lincoln Trail, turned onto Wilson, cross over the bridge, circle back around and go out.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little inconvenience, but we do have it. Yeah, so should be good. Thank you.
It's
Who's that?
the Ed Palmer
It's the Ed
Show.
Palmer Show.
I want to recognize the current chair of the National Coalition for Juvenile Justice. He was on KET Sunday night, and how long was your interview?
30 minutes.
30-minute interview. And so I just want to say thank you and congratulations, Mr. Palmer, who's nationally making a difference. And thank you very much. So, did they have makeup on you? Because you don't look as...
They did.
Did they?
Take the shine out of my
They took the
forehead.
shine out of the forehead. Is there anything you want to add in? Anything about
No,
it?
it's a great experience.
Yeah, so thank you for representing Ratcliffe and showcasing our city. I know at some points they had on their councilman Edward Palmer and Pastor
Yeah.
Edward Palmer.
She
So,
mentioned Radcliffe a couple times.
yeah, so, well, we appreciate your hard work on the juvenile justice issue, so. That's all I got. I'll turn it over to you all. Barbara, you want to start?
I have a few things that we have going on back at the community center. Actually, starting tonight, they are starting a Lisa Kimball, and she can be contacted at 270-307-0111. And it is a special needs baseball that they put this together every year, last couple of years, and it goes for 4 weeks over at Duval Park. And again, if you're interested in the special needs baseball program, contact Lisa Kimball at 270-307-0111. You can also contact the community center for more information. And that is, it's on Monday night, September the 9th, which is tonight at, do you know what time that is, Tim?
Probably 6, if I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on here. And then the next, all the way until the 30th at the rookie field at Duval Park. On Monday nights, yes. And then coming up on September 21st from 9 to 1, we have the Radcliffe Community Yard Sale. That's a free yard sale for the vendors. They can come and set up. Just contact the community center for more information on that. Then we have National Public Lands Day at Saunders Springs, and this is September the 28th, which will be the next weekend, and they're going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning all the way until 3. They're going to be a bird watching, some trail work, some cookie decorating, rock painting. They're going to be discussing the owls at Saunders Springs, a bicycle rodeo for kids K through 6, and a women's group ride and a men's group ride, and that is going to be through Kimba is who that's sponsored by. And you can get that information also at the community center. And then the last thing we have is October the 11th, the Parks and Recreation Halloween Party for special needs, and that is from 6 to 8, and that is at the community center. So, Freedom's Way, down at Colvin, and the number there is 270-351-4079. So, Radcliffe is trying to take care of our people that have some special issues and make sure everybody's included in everything. Make sure everybody has something to do. I'm finished.
Okay, tomorrow is the Radcliffe Small Business Alliance Luncheon at Colvin Community Center at noon. Tomorrow's luncheon speakers will actually be, it's a business banking, small business banking forum. So we will have 5 local bankers, to include Darren Logston with Wilson and Muir Bank, Eric Whalen with West Point Bank, James Watson with West Banco, Ray Springsteen from Fort Knox Federal Credit Union, and Grant Simpson with the Citizens Union Bank, all there to speak about small business banking. So that may be anywhere from anyone who's an entrepreneur wanting to set up a small business, or if you're already in business, small business looking to either expand or they want to do some additions within their own company. This is going to be a forum. So each one of these bankers will be talking from a different perspective and will be available to answer questions. So come on out and join us tomorrow at noon at Colvin Community Center. And Colton's will be catering our lunch for us.
And lunch is $7.
Lunch is $7.
Mr. Paul? Missy, please.
Yes. September is Rotary Smiles, where all the Rotarians are going to the different elementary schools. We'd like to encourage the parents to please remember, if you have a 3rd grader, for the Rotary Smiles to please fill out the permission slips and turn in so that they will be able to get their teeth checked for free. That's courtesy of Rotary Smiles. But we'd like to encourage all parents to please make sure you fill out the permission slips. We started it this past Friday, going into all the elementary schools, so we just want to make sure we have a better turnout for that. Next, September 19th, on next Thursday, the Entrepreneurship Academy, sponsored by Citizens Union Bank and the Small Business Development Center. We will have the Academy inaugural graduation. It'll be taking place at the Colvin Community Center. It'll start at 6 o'clock. It'll end at 7:30. We will have a light reception following the graduation. Our commencement speaker will be All Is Fair in Love and Fashion, Rayshonda Lockhart-Lias, as well as special remarks from Lieutenant Governor Janine Hampton. And we have a couple of great entrepreneur teachers that we had as subject matter experts. Toshi Marola is one, who will actually be in attendance, as well as one of the instructors for the 8-month program that took place over the last year. So we invite the public to come out and celebrate. 3 of the graduates have actually opened businesses here in Radcliffe, so we definitely want to commend that and keep that going. On Saturday, on the 21st, at Sadowski Fieldhouse in Fort Knox, the NAACP Hardin County chapter will be hosting the Freedom Fund 28th Annual Freedom Fund Banquet. It'll start at 6 p.m. with guest speaker Roland Martin, former CNN commentator, former BET host as well. We will have Roland, we will have Maestro J doing the performances, and a plethora of other surprises. It'll be emceed by Wave 3 Natalia Martinez. So we're excited about that. If you have not gotten your ticket, please go on Eventbrite NAACP, and you'll be able to purchase that beautiful $100 ticket for that formal event of your dreams. And I think that's all I have for today.
Well, when you get to speak, I'd kind of actually maybe elaborate a little bit more on the Global Premier Soccer Organization, because they're going to make the headquarters here, and I think that's pretty important. And they're looking to do a few things here, so we'll see what happens with that. And then also we spoke about Hill Street, where that real deep curve is around the 1200 block. We're having some problems there. And the lady that lived at 1299 has invited the police department just come sit there in the morning when the school buses are there, or in the evening when the school buses are there, and you can hear people, slamming on their brakes because they're coming around that curve fast, and the school buses have to stop. So they kind of had to redo their route and stuff like that for safety reasons. But there's a lot of also smaller trees that's blocking the route. You can't really see around the curve. So you see that we take a look at some of that that's going on. And that's about all I have.
I have one more thing, unless you're gonna cover it. Wednesday,
9/11?
9/11, and how that day,
I'll let you have it. 18 years later, go ahead.
it is 18 years later, because my baby was one. And if you, see, now I'm gonna start crying.
Am I gonna look at you?
This Wednesday, it's all over Facebook, remember, don't forget. But how many of us truly remember? We all say that, but sometimes we do, or we will for that minute. But we really need to realize that this is the D-Day of our generation. And it's just such a horrific thing that happened to our nation. And for that reason, I think it needs to be a holiday. So we at the City of Radcliffe will be closed on Wednesday because we feel that it's that important to make it a holiday. Maybe if other people see our dedication to that and the importance that we put on that, they will take it up, and it could be a national holiday. That's about all I can go with.
Well, thank you, Ms. Baker.
But I can tell you every detail of that day.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Mr. Buck, you want to say?
No, sir.
I think we're good. So, September 14th, this weekend, is our city festival. Starts at 10 from Freedom's Way. And one thing I just want to add, if you're going to line up, and of course, we want you on both sides of the road and the street. Is that you or me? It's my wife. If you want to be on both sides of the street, just try to get there before the roads close, because once the road's shut down, you can't enter. And so and you have to be set up for the parade no later than 9, because the road's shut down at 9:15, 9:20. Starts at Walmart, goes to PNC Bank, throw candy. It's concluded there in the parking lot in front of Orchlands. And then from 11 to 9, about the firework time, the Community Cultural Festival will be there at the, this is a summary, by the way. We'll be right there in the 5-acre lot right across from Arby's, in front of Tuscany and Ollie's, right behind PNC Bank. So it looks to be a full day of events and fun and happiness, and we'll all be getting home about 1 in the morning. So,
Is the weather good?
I think.
So, if that being said, no adjournment, we'll just, thank you all.
Let's see, what is the weather look like that day?
weather's supposed to be pretty good.